I love my setup. I got weed jars holding my mic up and shit.
Classic, man. Episode 57. I'm Luke.
I'm Joe.
And we're back, man. Like we were just talking about a little mishap with Skype on the last one, and the irony is strong because I don't know if you remember, I was talking about some guy just killing Skype podcasts before that I just listened to, so I thought that was funny. But shit, man, a few of my favorite ones do it, and it works out all right. So this is just the learning curve for us, but. You know, is what it is.
Part of the ride.
Yeah, we're not getting out quite as many as we would have hoped, but they're still coming slow and steady. So we'll try to get one every week, but you know what it is.
Yeah.
But enough of that shit. How's it going out in Colorado, man? What's up?
Things are doing well. Things are fucking always, man, just picking up. I taught boot camp classes all this week for the first time, and I did pretty good with some of them. You know, there's a few different workout, just programs, because they try to do something different every single day. You know, it's not the same. We either do campouts or we do, a Tabata. We swap. It's totally different. So there's a few things that I need to get a little stronger in for sure, but I'm doing pretty good. I really enjoy the crowd I'm with. The Fit Body Boot Camp here in Colorado Springs, off Fillmore Street. If anybody's listening to this, Colorado Springs is it's pretty badass. It's a nice, welcoming family.
Yeah, what kind of facility you working with, man? Like, what size room is it to run the classes in?
It's huge. It's probably like 1/4 acre. You know what I mean? What they got inside. It's nice, nice soft mats. We got the pull-up bars. We got just about every single piece of equipment you could think of. We do a lot of rope work. And, one thing that's wicked funny is when I started doing rope work...
Up ropes or what?
No. Battle rope, sorry.
Oh, all right. Yeah,
and, yeah, I wish they had climbing ropes. I have one at my jiu-jitsu studio, so I do climb that. And I can, just sit fucking with my feet out on the floor. Nobody else can do it, but I could just pull myself up to the ceiling and just let myself back down with my feet out, Yeah. It's pretty nice. Yeah.
That seems like it would be a good jiu-jitsu workout for sure.
Yeah. Some of the guys, though, I'm impressed with some of the guys that come out. I mean, even though some of them are real, big guys, they're flexible, and, man, they can move. It's just, everybody has their advantages for sure, but enough on jiu-jitsu. Back to the fucking boot camp.
Yeah, I want to talk about that shit in a minute.
Yeah. The battle ropes, I never fucking realized how small they were. I learned on that dock rope. You know that dock rope I had back in the gym?
Rope.
Yeah, the fucking, legit shit. The stuff is 25 years old. It was sold to my guy my dad knew that cleaned his house out in fucking New York City. It was legit dock rope. And we were whipping that shit. And I was like, man, it just doesn't look like all those videos, It doesn't look like as repetitive. I can't get that fast. I was wondering what the hell's going on until I find the fucking ropes that they're doing it with, and they weigh maybe 15 pounds together. It's like, what in the fuck?
Man.
Yeah, totally
I knew
different.
Because I had a few battle ropes at a gym that I used to train at, so I already knew they were way smaller than the anchor rope, man.
Yeah. I had no clue. I just was straight watching videos and was like, yo, I got a rope too. And I was wondering why people were like, dude, that fucking rope is heavy as shit. I'm like, what rope isn't heavy? If you're going to have a rope that big, it's got to be heavy. But
that was serious. That was probably like 30 pounds at least with the length you had laid out. The anchor rope, but who knows, man?
Plus
either way, a lot bigger.
It's like twice the diameter. Also, I didn't realize. A lot of the battle ropes. Yeah. But anyways, there's a lot of
tough when you the rules on that.
Yeah, hands start slipping a little bit.
So, what kind of stuff do you have on these mini battle ropes they got there?
Well, we're doing pretty much all the same thing. You do the rotations, you do the claps, you do the slams, you're doing the cuts. You're doing some squats in there. But we usually add a variation of battle rope in with just about every single workout. You know what I mean? What other than Tabatas? Tabatas usually they're a separate thing that everybody kind of does on their own. But I'm really liking the whole aspect of the Fit Body Bootcamp. Like I didn't realize what it was. It's like a way to offer a trainer without paying the trainer prices. You know, you're getting that critiquing and maybe a little bit of nutrition advice here and there, but you're only paying, you know, $120 for the month, and you come many times as you want, and you're actually getting help. That matters.
Dude, I just heard a trainer talking on a podcast a little while ago who said that when he did that, he made a lot more money too. So I don't know if that probably just depends on the setup.
I'm gonna start talking my contract this coming week, so
oh yeah, man.
I'm interested to see what it is. I'm not saying that I'm gonna make a bunch of money because I do want to give. You know, like these guys took me under their wing. They tried a lot of people, and this is for something maybe people should take consideration, because I've had a lot of talks with people out here in my networking groups and stuff about this. People coming in with all these credentials, like fucking shit tons of degrees or some type of classifications, all this crap, and they suck. They suck as trainers. They don't have either the experience, they don't give the drive, they don't really care. They're just running it as if it's like they just don't need to pay attention to it, just a program, like let's get this done with. You know, they don't have any relationships that they're building with people, and they literally suck. And it's not just in like the fitness world that I'm seeing and hearing this in. Like that's the biggest one, because that's my world that I'm about. So like I'm talking these gyms and stuff, and they're like, dude, we'd take you in a heartbeat, but we're going to give you a call after we try this guy with all these credentials. And that's cool. And then I got a call back, and the guy's like, man, I had a way better conversation with you than this fucking guy over here. He has MD and shit all after his last name. He wanted to do some type of extra training for the class, nutrition things for this gym and stuff. And he said it was great, sounded excellent. He actually upped the prices on the membership because this guy was coming in with all these fucking credentials and shit, and then it fucking put him in the hole because the guy sucked. Nobody wanted to do it. People were dropping out of the gym, you know, and that's what happened at the boot camp and stuff. And I find that's that's happened in a lot of places, man. Like a lot of places. So I'm really grateful for Jen down here at this boot camp for taking me in and like showing me the ropes. You know, like she literally. I told her I never did any group training like this. Never have, never, especially Fit Body Boot Camp. And she knows I'm a holistic health coach, and that I've trained with some people and shit. So she was like, hey, I'll try it out. And, man, I've been loving it. I'm just going with the ride now.
Yeah, you'll awesome. Do great at that shit, man. And I definitely wasn't saying it's not, you get a lot of benefit from this. So you learn how to run a fitness class, most importantly, but not about the cash. But I just heard that it would benefit the people, like you were saying, to get a better price for personal training, and the people, the instructors. Like it's just a more efficient way to train people. You got more of them going at once. So I don't know, man. How many in a class at once? When like in the average class, you think?
It could be anywhere between like I've had it as low as 4 people to as many as 16 to just about 20, 18 people, which is a pretty good sized class when you're helping every single individual out, you know, making sure they all know what they're doing on the times when they switch, you know, you got to switch your workout. And the other thing too that's cool about it is it's real fast paced. You know, it's a half-hour workout, but it's a half hour where you don't stop moving. Like you're moving the whole fucking time. I think sometimes we'll give like maybe 2 minutes in there worth of breaks, you know, in that half hour, or other times if it's harder we'll give 3, but never any more than that. Usually it's just fucking hammering it out nonstop, workout after workout. Which I like, man. I love it. It's like I'm literally seeing myself be able to create this life out here where I'm able to get up first thing in the morning, we'll do a workout, teach workouts, which is in return making me better and actually working me out also, because I'm running all over the fucking floor and doing the workouts, you know, as demos. And then like I come home, I bang out a workout real quick, I do some of my health coaching, and then fucking go to jiu-jitsu. It's just nice, man. Life's coming together out here.
How many times do you train in jiu-jitsu each week now?
3 to 4.
And
4 days.
Yeah, you touched on it before, man. How's that going just in terms of, like, are you noticing any weird cardio benefits or any stuff like that, you know what I mean? Or strength
Core
or grip,
hugely.
whatever? Core, yeah,
Yeah,
that makes sense.
core definitely, and I definitely am going to have to say my grip has intense. I've been told that I have like one of the stronger grips in the class.
Have you noticed it get better through?
Yeah, that I definitely would, like, because the breaks, you know, like if somebody were to grab your collar, you take both your hands, you smash the hand down and you break it. Like a lot of people have, I've been noticing that's more difficulty. I don't even realize they're trying to smash my hand off. You know, I'm trying to get them in a choke and they're trying to get my hand off, type of thing. So I'm definitely getting a little stronger in some areas. My stamina levels are stupid. I don't know if it's because I'm doing boot camp training and jiu-jitsu, but like I'm just like ready to roll. Like even
that elevation, man.
Yeah, dude. Like
your cardio or something.
Fucking right. It really did. Like I actually got some tests done at my chiropractor and stuff, and like I was saying before, my oxygen levels are real high. I got very low inflammation. He said he was fucking seriously impressed with me, and I think I don't know what the hell it is. It's like when I moved here, everything increased. Maybe it's because I'm living the lifestyle I want to live, you know, like.
Probably a lot of things.
I mean, it's a lot of things going on that are just so positive for me. So I just can't believe the outcomes I'm having. Like jiu-jitsu, I could see it. The only time I'm not rolling is when I don't have a partner. You know what I mean? Like I'm ready to go. Like right after the buzzer.
How much of the class is rolling versus drilling? Like how do they structure that shit?
We do about an hour worth of drilling. Then we do like a warm up. Sometimes it's a drills. You know, we drill for like a half hour, or we'll do workouts. We'll work out for a half hour straight, and then we'll roll for an hour, sometimes an hour and a half. And there's 6-minute sessions, you know, with a 1-minute break in between.
Yep.
So you're hammering on it, you know, and a lot of times, like me with other guys, like I'll just roll and then I'll just go over and start rolling. Fuck that minute break. So we're rolling for like 6.5 minutes usually, you know. And that half a minute makes a big difference at the end, honestly.
Oh, yeah. No doubt, man. Doing rounds that's ridiculously hard. Crazy.
Yeah, in the beginning, like I told you, I mean, the first day I went all, I think we did 7 rounds. I went all 7, and I ended up puking my fucking brains out, like, right after. I just couldn't handle it, and I just can't believe where I'm at now. I'm ready. Like, I'm ready to go against the good guys just to give them more of a hard time, almost, you know. I noticed, like, I'm trying different things. My game on my offense is not as good right now as my defense, you know, because I'm just fucking learning. So I try to give myself like a little game, like maybe I'll go pick like a blue belt or something, and I won't let him tag me. Like this fucking guy, no matter what I do, I'm gonna make sure I don't get choked out this roll, because I know I'm probably not gonna get him in a choke because he's seeing where they're coming from. So my goal is to pay attention to what he's going for and not get it. And man, it's something that has been a challenge that's really working for me well. Like, I've actually learned more because I'm paying attention to just one thing. I'm just not getting choked. You know, rather than trying to not get choked and choke the dude, I'm thinking a lot. I'm not paying attention to so much stuff. I'm missing things. So when I have that focus on just, like, one thing of what I'm doing, I definitely take a lot more in.
Cool, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's interesting. That's obvious that core would be the number one thing you notice from fucking jiu-jitsu, all that rolling,
fucking
man.
Serious core, dude. Serious.
Yeah.
My abs have never looked the way they do.
Yeah, I'm sure it's tense. You already knew that shit from all the stretching and stuff you do before you even started jiu-jitsu, I'm sure. But what about the workout side of it? What are you on for your personal stuff?
Well, for my personal stuff, I'm not doing so much chest. I want to get back into that here soon. I think I'm going to actually give that a break till closer to summertime. I'm not sure when I want to, but I just got to figure out my shoulders, man. Whenever I do chest, it starts fucking irritating one of my shoulders. So right now, I'm going to just figure that out. I'm doing a lot of handstand push-ups. That's like a thing I do 3 times a week now. Making some huge gains on it.
At all?
That doesn't irritate my shoulder. It's fucking It's actually working out my chest muscles. It's pulling my shoulders in, and it's fucking with the very front of my shoulder. And it's my left shoulder. I'm not sure. I'm making it better, but it still gets irritated. So I'm just gonna give it some time. I don't know what I did with it, but I definitely didn't push it too hard. But I noticed that chest just fucks it up. So I pay attention to a lot of tricep and shit, but a lot of what I've been working on, man, is legs and back and bi and core.
Yeah.
My chest is in there with everything else. I've been doing a lot of fucking plank holds. I've been doing a lot of push-ups, like especially for jiu-jitsu, and my chest is just big and strong anyways right now, so I'm pretty good. I'd rather work on like my back and my pull-ups. I'm trying to get that one-arm pull-up down pretty good.
Oh yeah, dude, those rope climbs will help with that for sure.
Yeah, for sure. And another thing that I got too is like how you have the rope on the cable machine. You got it on both hands. You grab the rope. Well, I just slid the rope to one end, and I put the rope at the bottom. I also do it for tricep too, but I just do pulls as if I'm climbing the fucking rope. Because I'm holding on a rope. I stand kind of over it, and I'm doing a pull as if I'm just letting myself down or pulling myself up a rope. So I'm getting a very similar workout to that, and I've actually really enjoyed that. It's fucking rounded my bicep out pretty nicely. But I've also known a lot of gains, like a lot of gains. That's one thing I do have in jiu-jitsu over a lot of the other guys is when they got their arm like fully extended or trying to hold ground or whatever, I can just fucking grab their arm and curl it in. I got a curl again. I love that. Yeah, I'm getting back up there. So I'm about 150 on my curl again. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I haven't had that for a while since I fucked my bicep tendon up. When we both fucked our tendons up there. So I'm real excited that at this point I eased into it. I think it was like a year or so ago. Anyways, I just barely started working out my bicep again, and it took me from there till now to start getting gains. Because I just slowly started introducing pull-ups and then arm curls and then the rope and like really being very gentle on that fucker because that sucked.
Dude, yeah, after you get past that beginner phase of training, the progress can be very slow. You gotta at least be consistent for a couple months minimum to see gains on almost anything, whether it's strength or size. I mean, you know how it is with that, but because the progress is so slow, I think it makes way more sense to, if you have something like a inflamed bicep or whatever, just ditch that shit out of your training. Focus on other stuff. Focus on stuff that doesn't hurt, because the progress is going to be slow anyway. So then, and just feed it back, and you can only fit so many things in your training. At least that's what I've found over the years with myself personally. I mean, shit, man, there's so many different things I want to train. If there's something that's aggravating an injury, just switch to something else. Like, you'll still, if you keep the focus on it, eventually make the progress over time. So, is what it is. I think that's just smart, and that's just taking
it's hard to do though.
Approach. Yeah, I mean,
it's hard. You want to just keep doing a point. You want to keep pushing stuff.
Yeah.
Sure,
but it's funny, man, because I found the exact same thing with the shoulder. Like, I had years ago now, but nagging issues from this shitty form on my bench press, and when I switched to, I could still bench press right now with no pain in my shoulders. I've done a pretty good job rehabbing them, but I found it was a lot easier on my shoulders to do vertical presses versus horizontal, like off the chest. So
hell yeah, that's what I'm going to be
weird
doing.
Because that's more shoulder, obviously, to press something over your head or do something like a handstand press. But it seemed, for myself at least, it was a lot easier on my shoulders. Maybe I just had better structure to do it that way or something, but I don't know, man.
Well, I just been looking into it a lot, and I don't know all the proper terminology because I fucking read it when I was high as a bastard, honestly.
Yeah,
on
the practical
so
shit, Come on,
so I was going through it, and for what I got from it was your chest muscles, being such a big muscle that takes a huge load once in a while and shit, and just working it so much, it can have like a it goes into like a seized state, so it's not moving as much. It's not contracting as much and stuff. It's not contributing. So your shoulder takes on the overload. So that's why they say when like benchers and shit have a lot of issues. Their fucking shoulders blow out because their chest isn't contributing half to what their shoulder is. Like, that's why when you do incline, you're feeling a lot better because you're getting more in a position for your shoulder to contribute more to it. And when we're in like a decline, like what I've noticed is the decline really fucks with me. I just had to try every position to see what the hell is going to go on here. But decline really fucks with me because that's a lot of chest. You know, you're pushing.
Yeah, you're going to have the highest chest isolation with a decline press at any type of bench press for sure.
And my fucking shoulder, I could feel, was like trying its hardest, I know my chest strength, it was not there. I'm like, this is not fucking right. And literally what I did is I started rolling it out and actually got this nice little device I could fucking slam my chest real hard against the wall, but and just press right in. But I started loosening up the muscles, honestly, just my pectoral. And that bitch made a huge difference with my shoulders. Like, it got rid of that football pad feeling. I can actually expand my chest and not feel like somebody's grabbing me by the neck. Like, for a minute there, every time I pushed my chest out and, like, had my head straight, it felt like somebody was reaching around my neck just because my pectorals were so damn tight.
Yep.
And for some reason, I just never thought about fucking rub. I rub every other muscle out, but I just never have rubbed my pectorals out, you know?
Dude,
it made a huge difference.
I did the same thing back when I had shoulder issues. If you loosen up your chest muscle, it makes a massive difference because your shoulders just aren't pulled forward, just like you've been saying, man. That's a rampant problem. And for people who don't work out, like, you got a lot working against you. You're hunched forward all the time, driving or at a desk or whatever. But for people who go to the gym all the time, there's no excuse. Like, I've made that mistake. A lot of us have, but once you become aware of it, all you have to do to balance it out is just do more pulling, and like you said, after you loosen things up and get your structure kind of balanced again, I think the simplest way, and anyone can individualize an approach, but just do double the pulling motions that you do pushing. So if you do one chest, whether that's a dip or a bench press or handstand push-ups, do pull-ups and some kind of horizontal row or something like that. And that's worked perfectly for me, man. Since I've been doing that shit, I haven't had even a hint of a shoulder problem. I mean, besides like something from a hard workout, just overload. But yeah, I haven't had any issues that have stopped me from doing anything. Like I said, I'll occasionally sit down on a bench press now, man, just to see how it feels and rep out a few sets, and it's always been great. Definitely haven't been focused on bench in a while, but it's it feels good to be able to do whatever the fuck movement I want with my shoulders and not have an issue with it. You know what I mean? That's pretty much my goal with it, man. I want to be able to do any type of training. I want to at least approach it. I mean, you know what I mean, to be able to get into something. Like, if I want to learn, that was the original reason for learning a handstand. And I want to talk about that in a second, how we learned that shit. But yeah, my original line of thinking was just to stabilize my shoulders, to get over those nagging shoulders issues that I'd had from shitty form on my bench press. But yeah, it's taken us a long way, just the handstands there, man. But what I wanted to bring up about, I wanted to bring this up just to drop this question on you, because I've been helping my cousin learn a handstand. He lives a couple hours away, so I see him fairly often, every couple months or so. So I'll just check in, help him out with his form, that kind of shit. He's been working on it for a while. What do you think is the quickest way to get a handstand? Because there might be a best way, like a perfect to get the form and all that, but I just want the quickest thing, just because I'm curious. Because I feel like what we did is probably one of the quickest ways to learn that shit, which is just have someone else spot you. Yeah, kick up into a handstand, have someone spot you, and then balance your feet, give you a little feedback on how straight up and down you are, how good the line is. Because it was, I mean, try standing 2 months, man. You got that shit a couple weeks before me, and then it was just, once you can kick up into it by yourself, then you're just off to it, man. Do whatever, walk around or presses or any of the more advanced shit. But yeah, I'd say I wanted to run that one by you. I figured you'd be on the same thing, because that's how we did it, but...
Yeah, I mean, there's things that I do now that I wish I did then that probably would have even increased it more and probably made it better for me, because in the beginning, we weren't super straight.
If we just knew the form, we would have. I feel like we would have got it faster at the beginning. Because half of it was just learning how to hold yourself straight up and down and like for anyone who hasn't tried, what you're basically doing is taking a plank position and just putting it vertical, like in terms of how you got to hold your body. Like you just keep your abs tight and that kind of thing. Keep your legs straight. Like that's half the battle. The kick is really not hard to hold yourself up there. It's really not.
No,
like
no.
Your
what
your
I
hands
would do
work very close to your feet in the balance thing, you know what I mean? Like it's
yeah.
They work pretty damn well. I guess that's those monkey genetics. But
I mean,
yeah,
one thing I would do is if he doesn't have somebody that like he could spot with, it would be getting used to like maybe something so it's not close to the wall that he could kick up to, like you were doing with the bar. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you can have a nice straight thing. But the biggest thing that I noticed, like there was a guy out here that wanted me to teach him how to do a handstand, and he learned actually fucking wicked quick. Like a couple of weeks later, he's like, "Dude, I'm doing push-ups against the wall, man. I'm able to stand for like, I think he said like 20 seconds or something." I was like, "Man, hell yeah!" And what I told him was just to get something to keep him away from the wall a little bit, or a bar he can kick up to, so there's space underneath. And the biggest tip that we learned together was to have our shoulders slightly over our hand, because that already positions the top of our body. That way we're only kicking the bottom part of our body up. He was clearly trying to kick his whole fucking body up, you know what I mean? Start out with his hands almost in the push-up position, then kicking all that forward and shit. And you got too much momentum when you do that. So you want to line like the bottom half of your body up, so you only have to kick up your waist up, and it makes it a lot easier to learn. Like I told him, I gave him that tip, and then I also told him do one leg kick-ups. So just leave one leg out, kick up, try to hold it as long as you can, and just let it fall slow. Because he's learning by himself, so I didn't want him to go over, fuck himself up or anything. So that was like one of the biggest things that we had to get comfortable with was kicking up, because we always thought we were going to kick over. Now, me and you would be lucky. It'd be a fucking cold day if it was like we kicked over. It's pretty hard for me to go over myself.
You got to
now,
learn how to fall. That's the first thing. Dude, it's very easy to bail out of a handstand. You just got to like work your way over. That's it.
Just don't use all back. Don't go all back. Yeah, don't go.
Yeah, we had some bad ones.
We had a friend, and he'd actually held that handstand for a second. It was a damn good looking handstand.
To getting it. Yeah, perfectly straight body line.
But his body was so fucking straight. When he went over, he landed all back, like completely flat, on a fucking
like the
concrete
opposite,
with 3-inch pads.
Yeah, opposite of a belly flop, like when you're a little kid going into the pond or the lake or something. He just back flopped, man. It was tough.
And he gets up, and this is what. And I wish we had this on film, because I'd put it out there. But he gets up, he goes, "Just land all back, you'll be fine. Just land all back." Like,
that was hilarious.
It was good shit.
So that is one of the reasons we also recommend using the spotter. Like, so you avoid the all back. Man, that's funny shit, but totally different. I had to ask you on that. I would do the exact same thing. The kick up is huge, and just practicing a straight line with someone spotting you seems to be like a pretty damn fast way to get the handstand. As you said, it'll slow it down some if you don't have someone to spot you. You got to use the wall more and other stuff, but shit, man, it worked very well for both of us, as long as you have like the basic prerequisites, which if you work it out at all, you probably do. You know what I mean? You can do a couple pull-ups, push-ups, all the basic stuff. You're not too fat, because I feel like having a big old gut with like unbalanced handstand, I don't know. I don't know.
I've seen some fucking pretty crazy ass big dudes out there, man. Like, there's this one dude. He weighs 348 pounds. He's fat as fuck, and he's out there doing parkour, like jumping off things, doing like spinning backflips and shit. I'm like,
and
and he's doing it off of like a 4-inch lip. You know what I mean? Like the curb on the fucking road. He's just kicking off of that, doing a backflip with a spin. I'm like, what the fuck?
Dude, when a fat guy just doesn't care and still just as athletic as fuck and can do all that stuff, you gotta respect it, man. But I'm just saying, I don't see a lot of like super fat handstands going on, so that's probably something you want to check off the list.
Very true. Very true.
And then the basic stuff, then it's really not hard to get it, man, at all. But yeah, I had to run that by you, because that was a fun one to learn for sure. That's like the starting point, I feel like, for body weight workouts. Learn to do a handstand. It'll
Yeah,
get you into all kinds of other.
And even if you're, if say, I think even a slower way to start a handstand, wanting to throw it out there, would be to start from like the 3-point, do like a headstand, so you got a lot of control that way, and then go into forearm stand, so you're training your body slowly to be able to counter-react all those movements, because what we realize is, the reason why we were falling is because our body's wasn't used to counter-reacting our feet and shit that way, being above us, that counterbalance. Sure. So if you could just slowly introduce that to yourself, the handstands are probably going to be much easier.
Like I said, it sets you up good for all kinds of stuff that you might learn down the road too, just because of the body awareness. Like you said, the counterbalancing. Like if you move your foot just a tiny bit, it'll make a huge difference when you're balancing on your hands like that. So it does a lot for body awareness and when you're keeping a good position, all that shit. I mean, dude, in a weird way, learning to do handstands has made doing my pull-up form better, just because I have better core position.
Made so much stuff better,
made my squat better, for sure, just little stuff like that. So it seems like a lot of carryover. I think we... And
dude, a great way to get pumped up, like, people never thought of this. Everybody's, like, on the way to a fucking show or something doing push-ups.
Even better than push-ups,
I just fucking handstand it, man. I fucking handstand it on the way out the door. I got like 5 steps on the way out my door, and then I got like a 20-foot cement pad. So I literally do the 5 steps in the handstand, do a 20-foot pad. I hop in my truck and I go to meet it. Like, it's fucking perfect.
For anyone trying to catch a pump before they go out, we've all been there. Forget push-ups, none of that shit, because you get the double effect when you handstand, man. You're working your arms and your shoulders, all that, and you have the blood flow. It just rushes.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I'm surprised Arnold and them weren't doing handstands back in Pumping Iron, man. Like, how'd they miss that?
You hop out on the stage, man, get that blood all fucking jammed up in there. Nice.
The little guy, the mini Arnold, man, Franco. I don't know if it was in the movie or not, but there's that picture, you must have seen it, of Arnold. They're in that outdoor gym on Venice Beach. Arnold's standing straight up, and Franco's hooked upside down just by his toes. Yeah, you've seen that shit, right?
Yeah, so I have.
Maybe he was on there, man. He just decided to hang like a bat instead of doing handstands.
Was he the one that passed out and fell down in Pumping Iron when they were doing the squats? Was it him? I had this talk with somebody the other day.
I don't.
Because remember when they were just pumping him out, and Arnold just steps over the fucking guy and starts doing the squats after?
No, I feel like that guy had one of those classic '80s mustaches. You know what I mean, like the scummy porn star stash going on. Yeah, so it definitely wasn't Franco, because he's a little Italian dude. But, yeah, that's an epic scene from Pumping Iron, man. And,
that is, man.
Yeah. Classic.
That's rough.
Classic.
That's rough,
dude.
Right there. That's good shit.
They actually remade Pumping Iron. I think there's even 2 now. Like we didn't remake it, a follow-up to it.
I was just gonna bring it up. I just
watched. It's a Netflix documentary. Like I would. It's decent. It's not great, but you know what I mean. It gives, because that shit has changed a lot since the Pumping Iron days.
Well, they have 3 of them now. They have Pumping Iron, then they have like. It's like
Generation
something.
Iron.
Generation Iron. Then they have Generation Iron 2 now. And I just watched Generation Iron 2. I didn't realize there was a first one. They brought that one up after I finished the second one, so I'm gonna watch that. But I mean, it gives you a good outlook. I mean, people are very truthful in it. There's like for that Rich Foreman, you know what I mean? Or not Rich Foreman. Rich, the big guy that passed away, the fucking big ass tattoo.
Yeah.
We talked about him, but so we won't have to go into it too much. But like they were talking about him, and there's a lot of people that loved him, man. Like, he was a good fucking guy. He really repped it a lot. But he also,
savage,
but he also, like, gave that image that influenced kids to do things slightly the wrong way. And there was people to say good and bad. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we can say for sure took too many steroids. Like, for sure, Rich OD'd on steroids, even though you can't technically OD like he did.
Yes. There is too much of that shit going on, because there's no fucking way naturally you can be like that. I don't give a fuck what you got going on for genes.
He had all kinds of shit going on, man. I think there might be a little. All right. I don't want to cut you off.
I just wanted to say, so I really actually enjoyed that it had both sides, both takes. It wasn't like you know, it wasn't so fucking heavy on one side. And that's what I'm liking about all these videos I'm starting to see. Like, a lot of all those documentaries that I was watching back in the day were all one-sided. I mean, I don't know if this is something that you've been noticing, but, like, the newer ones, they're giving both sides. They're talking back and forth and stuff. Like, when I used to watch a lot of fitness documentaries and stuff other than, like, Pump and Iron, I realized that they're just, like, so fucking opinionated. It's not even funny. Like, that's the only shit they want to show you is what they believe in. And
yeah,
I really kind of enjoyed it because, yeah, it gave those kids that are doing steroids or whatever, which is fine, it's their choice, it gave them, like, a good morale.
Definitely don't do steroids if you're a kid.
Don't do steroids. But it gave them, like, a good, you know, a decent outlook and, like, an outline. Like, they were talking, like, you know, you don't want to go too hard on them and stuff. They just did it in a nice manner. And then you also have the people like us where we got our side on there, too. And I don't know. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah. It's like that Bigger, Faster, Stronger documentary. They gave the good and the bad. That was a legit one. I think you're onto something there. There definitely is more unbiased coverage of stuff like that. Because I don't know if that's because of the internet or just books or whatever transfer information. But yeah, it's definitely getting more common to see all sides of something because you can't hide that shit anymore. You can't put it out like there's just this one way to whatever build strength or do this because there's not. There's a bunch of ways and a lot of different approaches to that shit. Speaking of that, man, did you listen to that fucking episode on Rogan with the guy who eats nothing but meat?
Actually last night I just saw that, so I downloaded it. I am gonna listen to that shit.
Give it a listen, man. We should.
Yeah.
I just don't know. Like that's like I said. I eat a lot of meat myself. I
Dude,
think
your
it's,
digestive
super
system's
healthy,
gotta be fucking hammered.
Meat. And he was claiming the opposite on all of it. And I don't know. I'll be curious to what you say when
it
you
could work
shit,
for him, man. It could be working for him as an individual.
Yeah, I just think it's hilarious, man. Personally.
Oh, so that leads me just to fucking think, man, it's not gonna last very long. It's just like it's gonna be just like that vegan shit. You're not gonna be able to just eat motherfucking one thing for fucking the rest of your life.
Dude, that's
gonna
funny.
Be like
that's exactly
a 2-year, 3-year
how
thing.
I'm looking at it. I feel like you're right. It probably does work for him and maybe a select few other people. It's just like being a super hardcore raw vegan might work for like just a few people here and there. I personally don't think it's a good approach for like a large percentage of the population. I just don't think it's going to work that well to go like all raw vegan or even I don't know what they're called, man. There's an all above ground vegan. You can only eat plants like the above ground. So basically just eat leaves.
Oh my god.
I mean fruit and stuff. You know what I mean?
Doing to yourself?
Yeah, it seems tough when you get there. The same way it seems like it's possible. It's really tough to be like, I'm gonna eat all meat and say that's good for me. Like I don't know.
Yeah, man, like come on.
Yeah, I do think that eating a crazy variety of stuff is overrated. I think that's a corny kind of old school approach to eating healthy, where people just say, just eat a nice balanced diet. And like, what do you mean balancing what? Like the exact same amount of meat as fruit, as vegetable? Like what? What are we talking about? So the old balanced approach doesn't make sense. But I do think having like at least just a couple core foods, they can all be like nice, good and healthy and all that. That kind of covers your bases, right? You're just going, I'm gonna bet all on meat, man. I'm just gonna hope I get everything. Like, well, you're leaving
I want to make a quick shout out just for all the like whoever's listening that either knows or have ever heard of a vegan that's a vegan for more than 7 years. That's the longest vegan I've been able to find and talk to. 7 years.
It's gotta be longer than 7.
Dude,
that's hilarious if there wasn't one.
Fucking man, I haven't been able to. I even looked up online. There was one lady, but she died, and like, I wonder if she died because of malnutrition. You know what I mean? Like, what the fuck? Like, maybe, you know. So, I want to know, like. Give us an interview, like hit us up, you know, like I want to find out what the fuck. How are you vegan for 10 fucking years and like how you doing? How's things going? You know, like shit.
We want to see some double-digit vegans out there. That's all. Just curious because I'm I'm sure there have to be some out there because there's so many people who are into that. But yeah, I can't say I've personally.
I mean, but the thing is, too,
like,
I'm not calling like they have to eat meat. I'm saying like, say a vegan, like they're vegans, but they eat a little bit of eggs or they eat fish on once in a while. You know, like that type of shit. I'm not saying like the fucking vegan's got to be.
You're saying more of like the normal vegetarian approach, which
yeah.
I don't know, man. I think that can work for a lot of people. Like,
yeah, that's a way to live.
The farthest I've gone, this is just my own anecdote, so who knows? Maybe I'll change my mind in the future. But what I've done with myself, the only thing I've ever done is gone all fish and eggs as my protein sources, and that was just for a week. And I didn't feel as good as when I have good quality red meat in my diet at all. So it's gonna be hard for me. Like, so I really try. Well, it goes back to what you were saying before, man. I do try to be open-minded. Like, I want to see a documentary that gives the pros and cons of eating meat and vegetables and all of it, which is what we have now. As you said, we have that all over in different sources. Probably won't get that so much in a vegan documentary, but who knows, man? Maybe there'll be all meat documentaries coming out in the next few years. But the thing
is with these one-sided things, see, that's something that hasn't changed. Like, we just were talking about like workout theories and shit. You know what I mean? And like those things now starting on the documentaries to feed back and forth, and it's kind of well balanced out there how they're talking about it. Now with the fucking diets, that's a whole nother fucking level of bullshit. That right there is like cults. Like, there's fucking straight up cults being made out there on how you
Hardcore.
Eat. Like, that shit is making me so fucking crazy. I met somebody that is like, I just met him real quick at a meeting, a network meeting, and they were just like, oh, what's your diet? What do you eat? And I've been on fucking diet so long. I was like, I'm mostly paleo, but I'm in the keto state, all of it, whatever. And this guy's like, I'm a vegan. And I was like, okay. He goes, yeah, man, meat's not good for you. Like, he just immediately, like, he like got excited when he said he's a vegan, and then he like immediately started like telling me all the shit that I was eating that was bad, which was nothing but fucking good source fucking whole foods. I'm like, dude, you got it wrong. And like, he yelled out shit that was like Twizzlers, you know what I mean? I was like, dude, get your fucking facts right. Like, this guy is coming at me as if he's in a cult, and he doesn't even know the fucking facts of a vegan, you know what I mean? And he's claiming that he's been a vegan for 6 fucking months. It was just crazy. It was crazy. I just couldn't believe this guy's coming at me.
You just had to be like, awesome, man. Hit me up in 6.5 years.
Yeah, no.
You're still doing that.
I said, hey, man, let me know how this is going. I'd love to follow up with you in about 4 months. Here's my card for when, if you need some help. That's what I did, because I feel like he's going to need some nutrition fucking help here a little bit.
I do think it's possible, if you want to be a vegan for whatever reason, to do it in a perfect way and be super healthy doing that shit. And most people, if you transition right from normal shitty dieting to eating a bunch of plants, like vegan or even just a vegetarian, fuck yeah, you'll feel better. Like, you just stopped eating all that other you stopped going to Taco Bell and KFC. Like, that doesn't mean that just animal products in general are necessarily bad for all of us. I really do think it depends, but I think the all meat and the all vegetable people are like extreme
too much one way. Yeah.
And the huge part of the population is going to be somewhere in the middle of that, man. And for me personally, it's definitely like I eat a lot of plants because I think a lot of that stuff's healthy for me. Like I said, eat a lot of meat too. I'm one, and that was an interesting thing this guy brought up, because some people will say this, and it's not something I agree with, but like I said, I'm open to hearing about it. He said he doesn't think the quality of the meat really matters that much, and you know how what Rogan got into with him was just about like the factory farming, like how he always framed it, because he's
that doesn't make any fucking sense to me. That doesn't matter.
Yeah, it doesn't to me either. Like, and obviously Joe's bringing it up from the hunter perspective. He now hunts for all his own stuff. Like me personally, I'm not a hunter. I'd like to try that at some point to get the good food, but haven't done that so far. I try to get the good quality grass-fed stuff most of the time. Yep. That's it. Like,
do
I'm
our
not
best right now with what we got to work with, man. One day when I have some money and have some time, I'm gonna be fucking killing myself some elk like Joe Rogan and be fucking feeding the fam for the whole year.
You know what I do, like I said, that mostly grass-fed, high-quality meats, free range, whatever it is, depending on the type of meat. I get a lot of stuff local because we have it here. That works damn well for me. So, like I said, could refine it, but I just I don't know. I don't agree with that part of what the guy was saying, but like I don't agree with eating all a pure meat diet either. So that's not something Rogan did say. He's like, oh, maybe I'll try that for a month. When I hear an all meat, like I said, the same way when I hear a raw vegan, it doesn't get me interested. Like, oh, I want to try that. It just seems too far extreme. There's
a raw meat group.
Yeah, I've heard of that one too.
Colorado
I don't
Springs.
know shit about.
And they literally, like, dude, they're just eating fucking they eat a lot of burger and shit, but they're even eating like lamb. Like, I'm like, what in the fuck is wrong with you guys? Like, because they're claiming like the good enzymes and the shit that we're missing out on. But I'm like, listen, man, we can go back to like paleo times and stuff, but we can't go to savage. We can't go back to when we're eating like fucking wolves and shit.
You might be able to find someone who, for whatever weird reason, just their genetics line up perfectly. That would work for them. Just eating raw chunks of steak or whatever. But what we know for almost anyone is what pretty much works just in general, which is eat the normal healthy shit. Like I said, in my opinion, that's some quality meats, eggs, dairy if that works for you. All the good stuff, and then eat the healthy plants that gives you the vitamins and minerals you need. Like, it's really not that complicated. And as you hit on another key term earlier too, just eat whole fucking foods. Like, it's almost impossible to be nutrient dense, unless you're considering like fast food, whole foods. But you know what I mean. Just get shit that doesn't come in the bag. Make most of it yourself. You'll probably be good. Don't have to go eating raw cows and shit.
And Whole Foods does and I know shit. And look, I want to throw out there, Whole Foods does not mean potatoes in a bag, okay? Because it's the potatoes in the bag. Like I'm talking about the powdered potatoes that I see people fucking like, oh, eat Whole Foods, and and I'm like, so where's your guys' vegetables? Oh, I got potatoes in a bag, and I got this in a bag.
Well, dude, this is the sad
fucking
reality.
bags are not Whole Foods.
Yo, the sad times we're living in now, a lot of people really don't know what a whole food even means. Like I said, to break it down in its most simple form, just closest to its source as you can get. So, like, if it's a potato, one that just got dug up, you probably have to wash it off. It's still an actual potato. It hasn't been pulverized up and made into chips or some crackers or some other shit, put in something.
If you can't look at it and say clearly that's a potato, then it's not a fucking potato.
Yeah, dude, I think you just hit the ultimate test there. If you can't look at your food and say what it is, then don't eat that shit.
I see so much crap sold today that I'm like, what the fuck is that? And I gotta read it, and it's like, oh, it's vegetables and a chicken. What in the fuck? Like, it just looks like shit thrown together, and then when you cook it, it comes to life. Like, what the fuck is that?
Dude, there's I've seen, and it's getting crazier and crazier. There's totally fake little meals you can just make with powder, and you just dump it in, turns into one part of the food, but not really whether it's noodles or whatever. I've seen you've seen the fake lettuce ones. They're usually seems to be coming out of Asia. I don't know if it's a Chinese thing or not. It's where they make.
What we gotta be fucking with fake lettuce for? What the hell's going on?
I'm surprised because these videos have been coming out for a while. So they just pour some liquid on top of a thing of water, and it solidifies, so it'll turn into a green thing. And this Asian lady, all hair netted up and shit, cafeteria style, grabs it, crumples it up real quick. Then it's the ball of lettuce that looks just like the shit you might get at McDonald's or Subway or wherever, where there's just that fake ass looking lettuce. You know what I mean? So,
what the fuck? I thought iceberg lettuce was bad enough. I mean, come on, man.
This is very similar. Just on the flip side of that, man, you probably heard about this. I don't know how you would confirm or not, but supposedly a lot of the shitty meat you'd get, just a random pack of beef or pig or whatever, is actually just ground up scraps from the meat factory that they glue all back together.
Oh, hell
and make it look steak shaped, which you see that with some of it.
Yeah,
But,
dude, I compared this for a dude, alright? This guy was fucking fighting me on some shit. Like, I have some dietary fucking, some debates out here, man. Like, we get personal out here about our fucking diets.
well, yeah,
It's pretty intense. So I was talking to this guy, and, like, the way I got him to realize, like, what he was eating was, like, listen, the fucking shit you're eating is the exact method they use to make plywood. Think about that.
That's
Think about
another
that.
good analogy, man. if they're doing to your steak what they do to plywood, don't eat that shit, man.
Don't fucking eat it. I'm like, they're taking all the fucking leftover pieces like they do on the sawdust on the floor, and they glue it together and make a fucking board with it. They're gluing it together and giving you as shaped whatever they want. It could be a steak, could be a fucking smiley face. They can give it to you any way, dude. Like, and actually, that really kind of brought it home for him. Because he knows how plywood's made. So.
Yep. Dude, that's a huge part of it. You're trying to communicate something to someone related to something they know, man. If that's what does it to get you to not eat that fake ass food, man, then that's perfect. But this
you don't want that plywood meat, man.
No,
Fucking
definitely. Yeah, don't be eating that plywood meat for sure. But what do you think about the burgers that they're supposedly growing in labs right now? Like, it'll be. You've heard about that, right? Like
I have heard about that.
The last few years, like they can grow a steak just in a lab off. I don't know if it's cloning or what, but you can grow a fake.
This is what I feel like on that shit, and like just hearing a lot of like Rogan's side and like the people he debates with, and like just talking about it randomly. I feel like if there was a good way to do it with no hormones, no like
if you can make that
all
shit
this bullshit preservative stuff, if they could just make a fucking good quality meat in a lab that was going to give me the same nutrition value that my friend's cow does when it eats grass out in the fucking field, and I'm not going to have any of these effects from the fucking bullshit that they're going to inject into it or whatever they need to make it grow, then hey man, I'm fucking game, but I got to know that shit. Like, I got to know those facts. I got to be able to find the answers to those questions I just fucking put out there to be able to have any belief in that meat. I mean, it's sketchy for one thing because it's grown in a fucking lab, so that's like that's a fucking red flag and a half. But literally, if they could do it in a lab and it's better than the meat that we're doing in our factory farms, let's fucking go with it, you know?
I'm with you 100% on that, man. I feel the same way. Like, yeah, if it was good, they made a decent nutritional profile and they could grow that shit in a lab, I'd have no problem with it. But I'm skeptical. Like, I'll believe that when I see it. So, either way, it'll be a few years. But I want to be able to ask questions.
I want to be able to ask questions and get answered. I don't want to just be like, oh, we got lab meat, it's supposed to be better. And that's it. That's all you can fucking find, is it's lab meat and it's supposed to be better.
Yeah,
fuck
like
off.
You just said, man.
Give me some fucking facts, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. And it'll take time for sure, but it's going fast. Like, that just popped up a few years ago. Now I think it costs like $20,000 to make one damn steak. So obviously, and that's how these things always work when you discover a new drug or something. Super expensive, and they cut down the cost over the years. They learn how to refine the process, all that shit. So we'll see.
I think we'll be fine as long as Trump doesn't get involved with the meat, and maybe if McDonald's doesn't buy in, you know, maybe shit might.
Well, no,
be
McDonald's
good.
will be the one, dude. Companies will think about it. Companies like that will be the ones who drive this shit because they're the ones who want the cheap.
They're gonna still taint that
stuff.
shit. I feel like they're just going for volume, man. Like even
we know
no
McDonald's
matter what they're
doesn't
getting.
Care. But think about it. That's what's most likely to happen, man. It's not going to be like we're going to wait till we can make this perfect steak that would be up to standards, say, me or you might have for food. They're going to make it so it's just equivalent to the shit that's going in a McDonald's patty right now.
Yeah, they're only going to take it so far. They can't take it all the way.
Even in that case, like for someone who just doesn't care, they're eating whatever, eating fast food and all that. It'll probably still be a better thing just in terms of how much land it takes and all that if they're eating fake stuff versus factory farm
My exact
stuff.
thoughts. I mean, that's as soon as you said that, that's what I was thinking, is just like the benefits of the earth. You know what I mean? If we could grow fucking and feed these fat fucks that are eating this bullshit food just
well, like
to
I
feed
said,
them.
At least do it in the best way. Yeah, man. It's
the best way. The people that aren't conscious of anything, you know, I just don't understand too. That's another thing. I don't understand how people don't think about the food they're eating. Like, that fucking blows my mind.
Well,
I don't think there would ever be a time.
Because you can feel it, man. That's why it's so mind-blowing. So you can feel, like, you feel better or worse depending on, like, the quality of shit in general that you eat. So when you feel bad all the time from eating bad stuff, like, just switch that up. It's at least worth trying the other side. But,
that's what I mean, yeah.
Yeah, we've been trying to crack this code for a while, man, because that's like the biggest issue. We have access to all the good shit here. It baffles me, man. Why are Americans so unhealthy? Why would so many
lazy? Because we're lazy. We just want to depend on somebody else doing shit for us.
But you
know what I mean?
Like, a lot of people.
The biggest thing that I have with people is they don't want to do it. It's too hard.
But,
it takes too much.
Think about it this way: you get a lot of people who aren't lazy, at least in some other areas of their life, because maybe they're successful at some other shit, but they'll still be like have no concept of even just not even their health overall, just say keeping their weight intact. Like, damn, don't walk around with 50 pounds strapped to your gut. Like, that fucks your quality of life up so much. So at the very least, I would think a smart person who's successful, has their family life in check, you know what I mean, generally a well-rounded individual, how could they let that slip through the cracks? Because
they're looking at that dollar, man. They're like, oh, I'm gonna fucking work my life away a little bit more this year so I can make another $3,000, $4,000, and by getting all that good food and separating it out. I'm just gonna pay attention to fucking work, and whatever I eat is whatever I grab on the go.
Dude,
you know what I mean?
But how I'm looking at it is we have 70+% of people who are overweight. Like, how does that many not realize that it would be a lot more enjoyable, like, day to day, just how they feel, just by making some small changes in their life? You know what I mean? Because we really do. We have access to the best shit you can possibly get here. That's what's so great. First world country, man. We're lucky to be born here. Why would you not? I just don't get it. How more people wouldn't want to take advantage of that, but I don't know.
Well, because for one thing, it's definitely fought with a little bit of the prices. For one thing,
yeah.
There's a majority of America. I forget what it is. It's over 50% of Americans don't have $500 in their fucking bank account.
So
you know what I mean? So like to say I'm gonna spend an extra $2 on this fucking sweet potato rather than buying the fucking 69-cent sweet potato, you know what I mean? They're going for 69-cent fucking sweet potato, if they go for potato at all, you know what I mean?
Yep.
They might go for the $1.49
sweet potatoes
box.
Aren't potatoes too, so
well, that's true. But fucking, but they could be going for the $1.49 box, so.
No, I hear you, and those are all valid points, man. It kind of makes me think of. Again, did you hear about Russia getting banned from the Olympics? All their athletes for the Winter Olympics. It just officially, like, the sanctions got laid down. It's all from the shit that was in that Icarus documentary. Is a good one. Rogan interviewed the guy who made it a while back, and then the documentary on Netflix is definitely worth watching. It's about the Russian doping, all that, how the government facilitated it. So all the Russian athletes officially got banned from this year's Winter Olympics. They will let them compete under like a neutral, like, so they could compete as individuals, but not for Russia.
Yeah.
Just all kinds of bullshit like that. But the point is, even though the exact approach Russia was taking, and like doping up their athletes and trying to, like, cheat the system, and even if other people are doing this, whatever, they were knowingly trying to cheat. They were putting like a lot of effort into their athletic performance for their country, you know what I mean? And I respect that in the same way. Like, I feel like as a country, we should be putting a lot of effort into making sure like well over half our people aren't fat. You know what I mean? Like, we want a good quality of person in America, so why not do things that promote that? That promote health, promote people being active.
Yep.
Like, it just we always go
and
back to the dollars. And
that's why I love Colorado,
true,
is because. Because like a place like this is a very, very far and few in America. Like, Colorado Springs is known for that shit, and there's a few other fucking cities, but it's far and few for fucking America. They really don't help out. Like, you could just see the difference in society here, because this, like, the city makes these things so people are able to get out and work out, so they can have more understanding of food. They have better programs here.
About, man.
Why can't we do that?
At the parks, have those little workout setups and shit like that. It's just simple stuff that seems like it seems like common sense, but since we're not doing it now, it would just be like slight little changes, you know what I mean? And one thing that I see more and more, I don't know how widespread this is, but get the damn kids healthy food, especially at school, because it'll just make everything better for them. Just like learn the basic shit early on, and it's the same thing. If someone just knows enough to control their weight, not anything else, like that's going to be a huge advantage, not running into all kinds of problems down the road. Because shit, man,
Yeah.
if you have no idea how to deal with your weight at all, like you were never an athlete, you never wanted, someone who just wasn't active, just grew up like that, is what it is. You have no idea how to consciously do that. Damn, you're in for a lot of trouble down the road, because with what you have access to, that's why so many
and not
people,
all those people too are fat either. You know what I mean? Like,
it's just
like
genetics
people don't recognize that.
luck
Yeah,
of the draw.
people just they go off of that image shit, and a lot of the times that the skinny people are worse off. You know what I mean? Like when you got a skinny fat person, like it's a skinny person that has that all those fat fucking genetics going on inside, where their just bodies are fucking screaming help. That is way worse than actually somebody that shows the fat. You know what I mean? And people don't realize like they straight up, like I had to make that relevant for my family, like big time, because my family's big guys, and my dad and my uncles and stuff, they hold a little bit of weight and shit, and they always thought my other uncle was in good shape because he was leaner. He was taller, he was just like leaner. But out of everybody, he's the only one that has diabetes. You know what I mean? He's the only one that has like where he has other issues and shit, just because, I mean, it had to be contributed to the way he was eating. The other guys were eating healthier and they were heavier.
Show the weight is just genetics, man. It really is.
Yeah,
and that's why you have such a variance. Like we all know people who eat total shit food, stay thin, but you see it show up with stuff like weight does have a big impact on your overall health, but you can't get away with like drinking 2 or 3 Pepsis or Mountain Dews every day for 20 years and not have some kind of consequences. So like, shit, man.
20 years, try 5 years and have consequences, man.
Right, well,
I see people straight up, like, guys that worked for us, straight up, like, not even guys that work for us. Actually, this one dude that I met that I actually was picking his trash up for 4 years, I saw him go drinking 2 liters of soda a day, go from having teeth like mine to having no teeth in the 5 years of him being my customer. That is fucking ridiculous, okay? And he might have had some other fucking shit going on, but I guarantee you that fucking soda contributed in a huge way.
Yeah.
In a huge way. You know what I mean? I know his diet. I picked up his trash.
Like I said,
there was more chips and soda in that fucker than anything else. You know what I mean?
Even if it doesn't affect you in terms of weight, it'll still affect you in some way. That's for sure.
Many ways. Yeah.
So, yeah, I don't know. That's just that's a question I'm gonna be asking for a while, man, until this problem's fixed. Because, like I said, I would just like to see what little things can you promote. Because, dude, like having gym class and sports in school apparently doesn't need to be enough. Because we just went in on the nutritional side of the other obvious side is you got to be kind of active. Like you don't have to train if you don't like to train, you don't have to go overboard with it, but you're gonna have to at least be walking, moving around, probably doing some kind of workouts just for your health. So how the fuck do we get it into people's heads that would be a positive thing all around? I don't know, man. It's a trick.
We got to show them some type of change, man. Like what I feel is people don't understand that there can be a change. There is a difference. Like living life like a zombie and like fucking
the shit
just walking around
so
doing the normal shit.
It's just the last few generations that this has taken hold. Like, dude, if you look at a picture of people from the 50s, they're all skinny as fuck, man. All of them. I don't know. Like,
I mean, and it has to be the preservatives and shit. Honestly, dude, we have more chemicals in our fucking food than we ever did before. And I think that's all contributed just to the greed. There's more and more greed every single generation as it goes through. And honestly, yeah, there's a lot of the same people that are greedy, these old fucks that just need more money for whatever fucking reason. But what I've seen with all the theories that I've been paying attention to is like as the generations went on, like you just clearly said, they were skinnier back in the day. They're just more and more like just greed. There's more stuff on the market. There's more advertising. There's just more bullshit. And that's definitely where all that stuff came from, for sure. Everybody gaining the weight and stuff. But with all this being introduced, it also, on the other end, they took away factors like such as like cooking and health class and the legitimates of like what you should be eating and like how to fucking work out. Like I felt like back at like when I talked to my dad and shit when he was in school, he had a much more understanding on like how to work out and shit. You know what I mean? Much better understanding. Like his cooking class sounded like they cooked a fucking meal, not a fucking pan of brownies. Not a fucking pan of brownies, people.
That someone
I'm talking like, yeah. Like, I'm talking about fucking cooking a meal. Like, all right, I'm going to come home, and this is what I do. Like, people don't even know how to cook meals.
So this
like,
is the
like
thing,
I have
man.
so many friends that are getting out of college. Like, I just have one guy in particular that I thought of. He got out, and I had to show him how to fucking cook a meal. Like, he didn't know what a meal. Like, what do you mean? I eat dinner, and it was fucking Hot Pockets and like some chips. You know what I mean? That was a fucking meal. I'm like, dude, that's don't call that a meal. Like,
man, I ate a few Hot Pockets back in the day when I was younger. That is just the grimiest food ever, man. Like, it's not food. Yeah, sticking that little thing in the microwave and you like, come on now. Yeah, so we've gone
what is
so
in a
far.
Hot Pocket, man? Like, I bet
dude.
there's Elmer's glue. There's probably Elmer's glue. A little bit of that fucking plywood fucking meat in there. There's probably a little bit of
definitely
like,
some plywood meat. It's plywood meat they didn't even stick together. They just the leftover plywood meat. Just
yeah.
It in there.
It just has a little bit of the glue residue on it, you know. And then they got the fucking. It's just bullshit.
Man, I go back and forth on this. I think I'm kind of leaning towards what you were saying before, like just all the preservatives, chemicals, whatever it is. There's all sorts of stuff you can't even really classify as one thing. But I think all the shit added really might be like fucking up people's hormones and disrupting enough, because just overeating doesn't explain for this, because I know we have gotten more and more wealth and access to food and all that in like the last century and stuff, but people still could have overeaten more before. Like they had access to that food.
Well, the biggest thing that you're hitting right on the head, and I don't know if you thought about this or not, but like it's our gut bacteria, man. Like,
well, that's
what leads to everything. Yeah. It's a huge contributor to like our hormones. It's a huge contributor to the way our body feels, which in return that's what our mood expresses, and that's why we have these fucking people that are fat as shit, and like it actually gets passed on by generation. You think you have a woman back in the fucking say 1900s, early 1900s, have a baby. She had good gut bacteria, not a lot of shit in her food. Then that baby, you know, is getting introduced into a little that bullshit food. And then the next person's gut bacteria is even weaker because they've had the fucking food from their mother, you know, through the breast milk and shit that was just bullshit. So over the years, it's their fucking gut bacteria that has been just slowly hammered at and chiseled away at the quality of what they have in their gut. Because people don't know, but your immune system is based off of your liver. It's a huge fucking, like a huge percentage. I don't want to throw a number out there.
It all works together, man.
But like that is the thing that like keeps you fucking functioning well, keeps you in a good mood, keeps things in balance, you know, makes you work well. Like that's your fucking that's your filters.
What I'm saying. I think there's so much, there's just an overload of bullshit added along with a lot of shitty foods in the mix that it just throws people so far out of their system, so far out of whack that something's going to go, whether it's this person, it's their heart, this person, it's their liver, this, their diabetes, whatever it is. Like, you're getting overloaded with so much shit. So in terms of what you do as a solution, I really think it's just simplify it, man. Like, it's not hard to cut it down to just, as we said at the beginning of this, man, just basic whole foods. Just eat that, and that'll solve 99% of your problems right there. And then the way, and motivating people, unfortunately, I think that'll happen naturally. And this is doing something the hard way for sure. But what it is now is we're just all seeing people around us, whether it's friends or family, who have cancer or heart disease, or someone like I just knew a guy who had to get a gastric bypass going on because he had a heart issue. Like I couldn't even start to count how many people I know with some kind of heart issue over the years. Mostly older guys for sure, but there's no surprise because heart disease is the number one killer we have currently. I think I'm pretty sure it's still number one. Either way, it's definitely up
I
there.
mean, yeah, it's definitely up there. It's in the top 3.
It's been the top
heart
one
disease,
for a while. I
autoimmune
think cancer
disease,
was
and
creeping up
cancer.
slowly, so cancer might
Yeah.
overtake heart disease. But either way, what I'm saying is, because motivating people to do this stuff is tricky, just the first step. And I think either people having their own health events or just seeing people who have them, that'll push them towards at least doing something. Like I said, even if you just want to do the minimum, get your weight under control. Like, there's no excuse for that, because it's just the info's
just
out
gonna
there.
help
you know,
you out in
it's
such
out
a
there
big
and
way.
it's simple. Yeah.
Yeah. I
And
mean,
it could be
you get your
the
weight under
starting
control,
point.
you're gonna start benefiting from so much more. Like, life is gonna just feel better. For one thing, you're gonna actually get up and appreciate yourself more. You know what I mean? That's one thing that I do, honestly. And you could say whatever the fuck it is to you, look in the mirror, whatever, at myself. But, like, I appreciate, like, what my body is. Like, and that's awesome to me. I wake up and I fucking, like, hell yeah, I am that image that I've always wanted. I am what I want it to be. And, like, to have that feeling makes me feel so confident going into anything else. You know what I mean? Most people are always worrying about their body. So how can they fucking focus and actually have confidence going into anything else?
That's a huge benefit. Yeah, just the confidence boost it would give so many fat people if they just shed those extra pounds. That would be giant right there. See, I think there'd be a lot of ripple effects if America could just get the weight problem under control. And generally, you know what I mean? Like, there's gonna be some people. Yeah. There's going to be the heavier ones genetically. Some people just like to eat more, is what it is. But I don't know, man. Let's get that number down, like, under 10% maybe. Like,
yeah,
down,
like, I think, too,
70.
what would help. Exactly. Like, what would help is making people realize that this is the first time. Like, I've said it before, and I want to say it again because it just fucking blows my mind I just can't believe it. First time in humanity, like in human history, that our fucking children are expected to live less than we are.
You bringing that up, and I think that's an important one.
Hold on.
Yeah, that's
like,
a
how
great
come people
reminder.
aren't, like, fucking stopped right in the tracks? Like, hold on, what do you mean? Like, my kid? Yes, your kid is in the fucking, the generation that is going to live less time than we're going to live. Like, how the fuck does that make you feel? Is anybody even thinking about that? Like, that right there would be like, holy shit, I guess we're doing something seriously wrong. We're moving backwards now.
And that's the kind of shit, like I said, we're seeing bad enough consequences. I think that's what'll motivate people to at least start making some changes. And
Unfortunately, it's got to have some bad
at this point. Yeah, man. Like I said, so many people just overlooking the basics. Just get on the simple shit. That's all we need for most of us, at least. But is what it is, man. It's actually one of the things that I'm pretty curious. I want to see how this shit progresses. Like, are people just going to keep getting fatter and fatter? Are we going to have, like, a huge...
I don't know, man. I think people are getting sick and tired of shit. I think people are getting sick and tired of some shit out there. Like, I'm noticing it a lot here, and, like, just talking to people, and honestly, like, between I mean, like, people like me, people like you, people like all these awesome health coaches and stuff that I'm meeting around here, we want to help people, you know what I mean? And for one thing, what I'm noticing is a lot of these people that I'm involved with live the life they're actually talking about. It's not like I used to see a lot of trainers and stuff that are well overweight, fucking, I'm like, or they have issues.
Never a good look.
Like, what in the fuck is wrong with you? You know what I mean? Like, come on. So, I'm seeing, like, a huge change. Like, when I go into a networking group and there's no holistic health coach and I'm in better shape than the fucking physical trainer is that's representing this gym over here, they come over and they start talking to me, and he's more about trying to sell the gym, and I'm more about just making good conversation and meeting these people and building a relationship. Yeah, you know, and that is, like, where I'm seeing a lot more people liking that. Like, they're building a relationship, and they're like, man, what are you doing? And they're real interested in what I'm doing because I'm interested in what they're doing. And that's just growing. It's a growing economy right now, or a growing little society that's kind of quiet and kept to the side, that people do want to get better. You know, and
I'm
they
with you, man. I like how you...
It's not big enough yet. but it's getting there.
No, but I like the outlook that you're putting down on that. I think it is growing, and I think more and more people are becoming aware and getting motivated and making moves with themselves. So we'll see, like, just how the number goes. And I'm hoping, like I said, maybe get down below 50% in like the next 5 years. That would be decent. I don't know.
Oh man, that'd be real nice, man.
Because it's the kind of thing you could fix pretty fast, man. People want to get on it. Like, you all know the story of someone who just upped and dropped 70 pounds just because whatever they had a heart issue or something. So,
but also
we'll
I want to know too. I think Rogan brought it up. Like, I want to know what are they judging this fucking thing off of for the obesity rate? Because are they saying like all these fucking steroid freaks that easily weigh 75 pounds more than their body should even weigh are obese? I mean, am I obese? Because I weigh 200 pounds. I'm 5'9". I'm not supposed to weigh 200 pounds at 5'9". I'm supposed to weigh like 160 or 170 or something.
Some of some of the estimates, way too many of them still use BMI, which what you're saying is just a height and weight approximation, which is stupid because it leaves outliers like yourself or Rogan out or people who took steroids, whatever it is. Anyone who threw on a lot of muscle at the gym, it might skew them out of their normal category, but the reality is, man, most people aren't doing that. They're very, very small percentage of people are actually ones that have enough muscle that they'd be in the wrong category for that. So it's still, all you gotta do is walk down the street and know the number's pretty accurate. Yeah, it's like, I mean, go down and count, you'll probably get about 7 out of 10, like people that are kind of fat at least. So it's the state of things right now, but I'm with you. I think that we can move in a positive direction very soon, so we'll see. Definitely, it's cool that you're directly a part of it with the boot camp classes now, man.
And even the health coaching, man, like even that
for sure.
Who was it that Rogan was talking to? Fucking that guy. I keep forgetting his name.
Chris
Kresser,
Chris Kresser.
Chris Kresser there. He like he just made it so like I'm definitely hearing it from IIN, the Institute of Integrative Nutrition, and like they're fucking awesome. Joshua, he's an amazing guy, and he definitely has a unbelievable outlook on everything. And like what he's just trying to do is start this movement, and literally he's trying to do it by getting people involved with the school, and then just sharing with as many people as they can. You know, having this mindset that we have. You know, being conscious of stuff, just thinking in depth, really, honestly. I mean, I think that's like the biggest thing that overall is taught. Nobody really thinks they only think in depth when it has to do with some bullshit Facebook fucking thing.
One thing
you know what I mean?
For sure,
or some drama shit.
Yeah.
They don't think about it when it comes to food and actual life and like what their relationships are like or like what change might be like, you know, anything like that.
Yeah, that'll be a huge part of it if we do have people getting healthier, is that side of things. There's no doubt, man.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll see. It's definitely something we'll both be watching closely. I know that, man. So let's wrap this one up here. For sure, listen to that episode of the guy who eats all meat. So I want to get your opinion on that, man, because it's just amusing at least. But he says some interesting stuff. Like
I can't believe this guy can fucking deal with that. He's probably fucking just farting all fucking day over there, fucking blasting his ass every 4 or 5 hours. Like, what the fuck?
2 pounds of steak just earlier that day, like when he was doing the podcast. Also said he ate 6 pounds of meat in one sitting. Like, man, I've probably eaten I've eaten some big steaks.
How the fuck is he affording this shit? Is he a rich fuck?
Rogan asked him that for sure, so I'll leave it to that. But they get into that. Yeah, it is.
Come on, man.
If you eat nothing else, it would probably all balance out. I don't know, man. Have to see us. He's just getting pounds of steak. That's it.
And hey, man, like something like we just taught our whole podcast right now. You know, something for us to realize we're like probably in it. You know, we're not even watching this health fucking thing grow. We are part of it.
Absolutely in it. Yeah, no doubt.
Part of the move.
Yeah, I would. Hopefully, I can figure out ways, and I think we do our best here. Just any way you can. I think someone who's on top of their health like we are, the more people you can help out, even if it's just running into someone face to face, giving them the simple shit. Like I bet the one both of us have thrown out more than anything overall over these years, given different advice on health, just to eat whole foods. One like that.
And drink more water. Eat whole
such a
food,
simple,
drink more water.
Yeah, simple thing. Everyone already knows you should exercise. Like, if you don't know that, I don't know where you've been living, man. But you already know you should. So if you're not someone who's naturally motivated to do it, figure something else out. But you know you should do that. The diet side of it's a little trickier, but those little simple things can help a lot. And for
sure,
we'll
share the info, but just don't be food police. All right, share the info,
Definitely
share the
not,
love.
yeah.
Don't be motherfucking food police. You fucking popped in the face for that shit sometimes.
Nope. Yeah. No, don't go all vegan. Don't go all meat. At least not at the beginning. Start with the simple, small changes. So, yeah. Thanks anyone for listening, man. And we're out of here.
Peace.